Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin with Elliott Wave Theory. If you want to educate yourself and support me, you can take a look at Patreon, where you can find Elliott Wave basic course, access to weekly live streams and extra content overall. Thank you for your support. Let's get into the analysis next. Starting here on 4 hour time frame, again we are still within the same uptrend that we've had since the lows of November 22nd. Since then, again, we had the idea of this being an either ABC going upwards or a wave 1, 2, 3. So at this point, again, we do favor the third wave again because it is so extended. Again, if we go even beyond the 2.236, then I'm going to be heavily favoring the third wave here. So the expectation is that we're going to be creating some kind of wave 4 here and then continuation to the upside. There is also potential that this is already finished, this wave 4 here in these lows, but we're going to be talking about that next. Now, smaller time frame, 1 hour, is giving us this kind of potential, where again that wave 4 would be very, very bullish. At this point, the previous wave 4 that we had on sub wave of this wave 3 here on sub minuet was some kind of a running flat. So again, we did not take out the lows here of A wave with that C wave. Now this is very bullish of a structure on its own, and after that again we had another move up higher. So what do we have here as a possibility? We would have this as a WXY or an ABC. Now we took out the origin of this wave A here already in price, so that fits better with the idea of this being a wave B instead. But there is always a possibility, as long as we don't get beyond the 1.618 here, that this is indeed a third wave. What makes that better looking is the time element. This C wave here, or potential C wave, if ended here, would already finish this structure. And you can see that it is not perfect looking. So there is definitely a chance that we would be creating something instead, something like this, which would have better proportions. That's why I'm looking for that potential wave 1. Of course, wave 4 can be in already, and we have a bullish count from the lows as a possibility. But we'll look into that later on. First, let's check out this last leg coming down. I had still on the previous video a possibility where this was a wave 4 here. However, as we have now continued again way more longer in time, I don't think this is wave 4. Again, it doesn't look any proportionate anymore. So again, I do feel like this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into the lows, creating that fifth wave completion and the potential completion of that C wave at the 1.382 of that A wave compared to that C wave. At that point, again, we have two options. Either this is the B wave and this is the end of something with this 5-wave move, or this is an X wave and this would be a start of something in the form of an A wave instead. So A wave, then we would be looking for a B wave, and then C wave down, creating this 3-wave structure for that wave Y overall. So let's take a look at the bearish scenario. Overall, what I got currently here, even without looking at the Elliott wave count, we can see a lot of overlapping structures. So what this means generally is that this is more likely to be some kind of corrective structure and not a multi-wave structure. So in this time, again, we can be labeling this in a couple of ways, but I think the highs here look decent here. As if we go into the higher time frame, we can see that we would have a potential high here, another low, and then we'd be looking for another high here to create a 3-wave structure up to get to that potential wave Y, creating this W, X, and Y. I don't think that would be very bad of a look. At this moment, I do think that this was an ABC, although it is super, super extended. If it was a 5-wave move, I would have rather seen something similar to this as a sideways move and then one more up. As we did not have that, I think we have a potential of having this as a C wave end instead of a third. So again, we would have this as a WX. Now, the structures from these lows that we recently had, basically today, do seem quite impulsive. What I had here was a potential triangle here, where this would be an A, B, C, D, E, ending at these highs. that's incorrect here. And then we would have a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not the best looking structure either, and we have to kind of force this kind of a diagonal in here, but that is that. There's no overlap between at least these highs and these lows, so we can have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's that, giving us that potential ABC look. Overall, not the worst extensions, again hitting that 0.618 here. And then again, if we think that this was a 5-way move, what we want to see for a impulse move up higher is we take out the previous consolidation, the possible wave 4 here with wave 1, then again 3-way pullback in wave 2, and then again move upwards. At this point I think this was a 1, 2, 3, and this was either a B, C, or this was already that third finishing up, and this here was the fourth of this subwave structure here. So those are the two options that I'm looking here on very small time frame, and again we did hit the 1.618, so here it is possible that this indeed is a third wave already. Then we'd be looking for that consolidation for 4th and 5th. Depending on how high this gets, we can be looking for a potential short setup downwards, but again those are not very good to look for. I do prefer the idea of going long at the potential B wave here. If we again create a 5-way move up like so, then consolidation back down, and then another 5-way move. This is here where I would be looking for long entries again for up higher. But yeah, that is just me. And then we would have some higher degree targets here. Of course, we don't know where A wave here is going to be ending at, so we can't really measure that yet. We are 1-to-1 of this weight WX here around 23,540, and again golden pocket just below that around this fair value gap here. But I think again this is going to be taken out if this is going to be played out. Now that is the bearish count, where again I still have a bullish play, although the whole count is in itself bearish. Then we have the bull count, in which again this was indeed the C wave and this was the end of 4th. This would probably have to be a expanding diagonal. Now this is something that I generally don't play at all, so instead I would be looking to play the next structure over here, which again, if we are labeling it the same way here as we did on the bearish count, we'd be labeling this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, looking for pullback, and this would be another wave 1, 2 setup, and going higher. So again, exactly same setup for both the bull and bear scenarios, which is giving us more confidence that okay, we're looking for at least some kind of move up. Either we're going to be looking for home run here with a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, or we're just going to be looking for a 3-way structure like this, where this would be an ABC. And then we would be looking for move downwards from here. So those are the two scenarios that I'm currently looking at on Bitcoin. Again, if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope to see you on the next video. Bye bye.